All right, you guys, Module 2, Week 2, more with Jack. Now we're going to actually measure beans using Unifix cubes and or base 10 pieces. So here's a new tech-enhanced Google slide activity that's awesome that you can make use of to talk through with your class to have discussion points and then practice measuring some beans. So here's the extension of the story, right? And it's nice. It provides nice pictures, nice big pictures. And then they go into measuring beans with Unifix cubes, seeing why we should do it in 5s and not all different colors, and having that discussion. And then looking at Unifix cubes versus base 10 pieces. So here we have count by 5. Here we have count in 10s, and seeing the difference there. Then we have this bean being measured, and you're able to have a talking point of being precise when you're measuring a bean, and where should we place that bean so that we can actually count it in a efficient way. Then on slide 13 and 14, there's a really cool activity to make use of to practice measuring beans. You could either use this together up on the smartboard, or you could share with your class on Google Classroom and have each kid do it on their Chromebook. So this is showing you what the actual activity is, and this is showing you how they could share what they just did. If you were to share this Google slide with them. Me personally, I would just go to this slide number 14 and I would go to this link here, and this is going to take me to the Number Pieces app, but it already has the beans ready to go and ready to be measured. So as a class, you could do this up on the smartboard and pull over some base 10s and talk about the length of the bean together. And you could also share this on Google Classroom, which I'll show you. Now, if I pull over another green one, that's not going to help me because they're both green. So I'm going to need to change the color of this one. So if I go down and change the color, now I can definitely see another 10. And then I pull over another 10. And now I have the length of my bean, which is right here. So I could see it as 10 plus another 10 plus 5 plus 1. So I'm at 10, 20, 25, 26, okay? And you can write that in there, even the jumps of 10 if you wanted to, okay? So if you want to share this out in Google Classroom for kids to actually manipulate and not just you, this is how you do it. So I'm going to click Start Over and go back to Start, not Clear All, so it looks like this. Then I'm going to click on it again. And this button should come up, the share button at the bottom. So I'm going to press share, and I am going to get this link right here that it provides me. I'm going to copy this link. Copy it. Then I'm going to go to my Google Classroom, and here's mine. And I'm going to make an assignment. So I have already made it right here, but let me show you. I'm going to make the assignment, create, I'll just do it again. Create assignment, and I'm going to call it Measure Those Beans. And less words is better, so I'm just not even going to write anything with it. I'm going to provide the link, attach, add link. Boom, it's in there. I'm not going to grade it. Maybe you want to. I'm going to go to my topic, or you can create a topic called Measure Those Beans. I don't know, bean measuring. Or I just have daily math. And then I assign. And now they will have that assignment, and every kid will have this link to be able to manipulate. So let me show you. I made my own Google Classroom for myself so I could practice this stuff. Now I just have to find it. I have too many windows open. Right here. So let's say I'm a student. I log in, and here I am. Here's my classwork. I go to classwork. Oh, measure those beans. I need to do that. Okay, so they go here, they're like, oh yeah, I'm gonna click right here. Well, actually, it's better for them to click View Assignment, okay, and then click on this. Because over here, they're gonna share what they did with you, and I'll show you that. So if they click here, now they're gonna start measuring, right? And I'm just gonna pull out stuff and just pretend that I have measured. And now they're gonna do the same thing. They're gonna come down here, they're going to press that share button and click copy link. just like you did. Copy link. And they're going to go back to their Google Classroom, and they're not going to mark as done. They're going to press the plus, and they're going to go down to link because they have a link to share with you. And they'll add that in there, and then once it comes up, they will hand it in. And they could even write to you a private comment. But hand in, are you sure? Hand in your work? Yes, I'm going to hand it in. Okay, so now they have it in. Now if I go back to my teacher place and I see what has been turned in and I click view assignment, now I've noticed, look at all of my students, once they turn it in, I'll see what they've done all in one spot. So super cool. And super cool that Bridges made these cool things. Yes? All right, so that's that activity. If you want some practice pages for measuring the beans, maybe you want to do the Chromebook version and you want to do paper, or maybe you just want to do paper. These are the PDFs of measuring beans on paper, if you're interested in that. There are some math at home activities that are on the Bridges site that they made during remote learning time that are geared towards measuring. And so I thought you may be interested in using this as a warm-up or something. There's a which one doesn't belong. There's also another one that's cute that's about would you rather have arms this long or legs this long? Use pictures, models, words. I would rather have because blah. So super cute, super fun activity. Dealing with measuring. And then the second part of Module 2 are the garden beds. Now, I think last year we did not go into the garden bed measuring. The only reason I put it on here is because it's just an extension of the Jack story that they sort of need going into selling the beans. So you might just want to do it. Unless, yeah, whatever you want to do it. Whatever's good for you, right? So measuring the gardens, here they are, the extension of the story. So you keep the story going. And then they just have more practice measuring. And you might be like, well, I don't want to make those garden beds with all the paper. Well, you know what? It's cool again because you keep going down in the slide. They have made practice for this using their Chromebooks again of the garden beds. So we can actually pull these over and measure. And now this time I might want to actually use one by one by one. And no, they don't need to measure every garden bed, but they can practice by measuring one of them and get the total amount. So you decide you're going to share it the same way in your Google Classroom by copying the link, share it with the kids, or you do it together up on the board. Or maybe you want to give each table a big paper garden bed for them to measure with actual Unifix cubes. You decide, okay? That is Module 2. Stepping into Module 3, the story continues with Jack. But now, instead of just measuring the beans, he is now selling those beans. And this helps us practice adding on a number line. So again, this here is another Google slide activity that Bridges has made this year that I looked through and felt that it was good again. So it starts out with the cubes. I don't know why you'd have to go through this again because you've already used the cubes. But what they're trying to do is bring you from the cubes to a number line and looking at a number line. And how is this number line like the cubes or this big long thing of Unifix cubes like the other? And now we're going to measure these garden beds. Or no, sorry. No, that was the last one. I'm looking at this and there's the garden beds. Do you remember how we measured the garden beds, right? So we bring that back and now the story continues. Da, da, da. And now there's this new tool and we keep going And now let's use his new tool to measure multiple beans, add them together. So it just gives nice visuals for you to practice with the kids on the smartboard, or whether you want to share this Google slide deck with your kids to do, up to you. You'd actually use this share button, and you would, if you wanted to, give every kid a chance to manipulate the stuff on there. I feel like it's kind of a lot, but you'd copy that link and share it in this kind of the same way that we did with the other one. And you just keep going, and there's just more practice with bean measuring on here, okay? Just bringing the idea of beans. Here are the work pages, the practice pages. Go paper. Me personally, I would not pass out that Google slide deck to the kids to do on their own. I personally would have them practice it on paper. But I would use the Google slide deck to present the information. And then the second part to it is adding on the open number line. So now we're going to keep practicing adding, but now let's just see that on a number line. So here are some work pages that come from the intervention materials that have the number line on them. And if you are interested in exploring the number line app, so instead of the number pieces app, exploring the number line app with your kids, it's a super cool tool. This Google slide deck will help you explore it with them. So they could just open up the number line app on their Chromebook, and you could have this up on the screen, and you would talk through this on how this relates to the number line, and then you would open this one up and say, okay, the first thing I want you to do is, right? This is a hop of 10. So you'd have kids try to make a hop of 10 by using this down here. They have to copy what you just did. Once they made that hop of 10, now I want you to tap the jump in the toolbar, okay, to make another hop of 10. So then they need to make another hop of 10 and label it 10. So they're just practicing with you on their Chromebooks with you doing it on the smartboard. You could share with them a link for each one of these practice parts if you wanted to. Or you could just share this entire Google slide deck. Me, again, personally, I would just put this up on the smartboard and then have them open the number line app and practice whatever comes up. Because if I go to the next slide, now I'm going to have them practice this. So here's the second task. Can you show the hops it took to get to 17? So now they're trying to, again, copy what you did. So they'll have to look and be like, that was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So that's a hop of 10. So they're going to have to make a hop of 10 on their Chromebook. And then they have to make this hop and this hop and this hop to get to 17. So it's just practicing with the number line app. And there's various other things to do with it. So you can page through that. All right, you guys, that was a lot of new info for Module 3 and 4, but I wanted to show you, just in case you didn't know, how to share things on your Google Classroom for specific math apps that are great to be using in this unit. Bridges does state to skip Module 4, so perfect. That's all we need to do, right? That's it. Okay, let me know if you need anything else. Bye.